Today, I'm going to show you what I'm doing to rehab a lower back injury. Exercise number 1 for my back rehab day is going to be a Cobra Push-up. So we're going to do a lot of reps here because this is focusing on getting out of pain. So there's exercises that are going to help us get out of pain, and there's exercises that are going to help us stay out of pain. Starting in a prone position, we're going to let our body be heavy, and we're going to push through the hands, lift the chest up. Again, letting the lower back and the hips be heavy. I'm not using my back to lift up, I'm just using my arms. We're going to go back down. We're going to get a lot of these reps in. The goal is 50 reps. Once my arms get too tired, I'm going to rest right here. Exercise number 2, we're moving on to the stability. So we're going to get in a high plank. We got bird dogs. Holding this position, core tight, opposite leg, opposite arm. You're not just lifting, but you're reaching. We're going to hold for a couple seconds, back down. Reach, keep that core in tight. We don't want to overarch the back, but everything here should be staying still as I punch up, back down. Exercise number 3 is going to be a wall wedge. So we're going to get our foot against the wall, elbow against the wall, and we're going to start by trying to push that wall away with your elbow. That's going to get your core, hips nice and tight. Now we're going to replace this foot with this foot. So going to step here without leaning, step here on the toe. I'm going to lift this up and reach. We can just hold this position. It'll be challenging on the hip for a lot of people, but we want to think full ball of the foot contact. So press that ball of the foot down, reach forward and back. If this is hard enough, great. If you need a little bit more, you can come up and back down. Corrective exercises are done, so now we're going to move on to strength exercises. Again, rehab, strength, it's all blended. You got to build them within each other. As long as exercises progress, you have a pattern to them, rehab into strength training should be pretty similar. So we're going to start with a single leg RDL. We're going to come up to it, put our left leg right next to it, bend the knees, going down, keeping a nice and tight back, picking it up, hips back, picking it up. If this feels all good, we're going to add a little bit of rotation to it where I'm reaching the kettlebell to this foot. So as I go down, instead of going straight down, go a little bit across my body. That's going to challenge the outside of this hip a little bit more. Again, start in here, rotating over, pushing this back pocket back. Now with that same kettlebell or a different run, we're going to do a single arm front rack carry. So I'm going to rack this up, let it rest on the elbow, nice and tight right here. And all we're going to do is walk with the kettlebell right here. So I'm going to turn around, trying to keep my body as still as possible. Controlled steps, feeling my core engaged to resist the kettlebell going down. We're going to walk about 20 yards one way, switch it 20 yards the other way. Superset number 2, we got 45-degree back extensions, supersetted with hip flexion. We'll see that in a second. But the 45-degree back extension, I'm going to get into this machine with toes facing straight. We don't want them duck foot. We're going to cross our hands over and get in a nice tight position. Get in a position with your low back where you feel comfortable. If you want to be a little arched, if you want to be a little rounded, most importantly, your low back feels pain-free. Core super tight. We're going to push the butt back towards the wall. Go as low as we can go while keeping a tight back. As soon as I start to get rounding, I'm going too low. I'm going to keep a tight back, then push through the hips, squeeze the glutes, and repeat. Exercise number 2 of this superset, kind of forget which number we're on, is cable hip flexion. So laying on my back, cable on my feet, driving up, controlled down. Hip flexors are one of those very underly trained muscles. People complain about tight hips a lot, when in reality, they have weak hips. So if you have a chronically tight front of your hip, chances are you need to strengthen it. Last two exercises, last superset, finishing off this rehab session with seated good mornings. So the goal of this exercise is to open up the hips out to the side and let the body fall through. We want to try to keep our back as tight as possible, but if we get a little bit of rounding towards the end, as long as it's not painful, I'm okay with that. So going chest up, opening up the knees out to the side, and then I don't want to think lower myself, but I want to think push the hips back. That's going to help keep my back tight. I'm going to go to where I feel a stretch. I'm going to push into it a little bit and then raise back up. Every rep, I should be able to get a little bit deeper, let my back round a little bit more. And last but not least, we got Copenhagen Planks. So you could either do these with straight leg on the bench or bent knee on the bench. Bent knee is easier, straight leg is harder. But we're going to put the inside of the foot on the bench and we're going to get in a side plank position. From here, you want to grow tall. Don't want to be like this. You want to grow nice and tall. Push that foot hard into the bench, then lift this up. This might be enough. Just holding it here for 30 seconds is probably plenty for a lot of people. But if you want a little added extra, you could lower down, lift back up. Lower back pain can be really common, but getting strength through your hips and through the low back is a great way to prevent and get out of lower back pain. If you like these exercises, if you like the video, leave a comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments what else you would like to see, and I'll see you next time.